gang, it's me. It's Shannon, Sheepless Needles. Listen, you take a month off and all hell breaks loose. I don't know what's happening in the world today, but let me just say, my life's been a little crazy. The world's been a little bit crazy. And yeah, so I just thought in lieu of the craziness, I might try to do something fun. Welcome to fun. Okay, you guys, Sheepless Needles. It's a vegan podcast. It's not about being vegan. It's about doing all sorts of fun stuff. Well, sometimes we can't do, so we talk about the things that we can't do. So that'd be like knitting, mini painting, just stuff, hobbies. This is about like hobbies and the balance of life and said hobbies and fun. That's going to be the theme of today. Okay. You guys, let's start this off in the way it needs to be started off. I have missed all of you. And I have missed this. Okay, so today, the beverage of choice, I'm trying to get the glare down here. Oh, that's really hard. This is Jackie O's. This is a local brewery. This is Dark Apparition. It is an Imperial Russian Stout. I will say that Russian stouts and Baltic porters are my favorite beers on the planet. Glass. Oh, shall we try to get it on the mic? Okay, let's take it easy there. Take it easy there, killer. Okay, we're going to let it calm down so it may have fun as well. You guys. So I decided that I would take January off due to events in my own life. And yeah, so we're going to start this podcast talking about things that I told myself in December and how did I do with them in January. They are going to be personal. They are going to be knitting. They are going to be reading, all the things. Okay, first of all, I am about ready to have a hot flash. That's some fun. This is my Vertices Unite that I knit. I don't even know when I knit this, you guys. But it's out of Truboo? Is that Lion brand? Truboo? I'm questioning myself. I know it's Truboo. I just can't remember who makes it. I'll see if I can find info on this and throw it in the show notes, but that was what I was wearing. Now you're seeing that it's just me. You're just getting me. Chaz. Okay, so in December, I told myself that I did want to approach my hobbies this year a little differently because I got a little skewed in one direction and neglectful in another area. So I told myself I wanted to balance my hobbies a little bit better, meaning to cut back on the knitting a little bit, add some more painting in, some more crafty things, right? And I feel like I did a pretty good job of that in January, but not of my own volition. If you have watched, if you're returning, you know about the thumb. So if you're new, okay. First of all, if you're new, you're going to learn I can't figure out stage left and stage right at all. But okay, so my thumb, it's a little jacked up, right? So I did go to the doctor, guys, and my doctor has referred me to a hand surgeon. I don't necessarily need surgery though. Because that was the first thing. My eyes got super big when he said hand surgeon. I was like, he thinks that I have something called trigger thumb, and I don't know a lot about it. Basically, I have an older injury to my thumb that I don't remember having, and I did something recently. It could have been the knitting. It was probably the knitting that just kind of, I guess, brought that injury back to the forefront. So he thinks I've either broken the knuckle here somewhere, not like, not like a huge break, but like fractured part of the knuckle, or I have dislocated it completely. And he said he doesn't have the tools to handle that, which is why I need to go to the hand surgeon. And he said probably more likely than not, what they'll do is give me a shot of cortisone in the joint to like loosen the joint up. And if it's dislocated, obviously that will help with that. So that's what we're going to hope for. I have had cortisone shots in the past. I don't know if I've ever told the story of the cortisone shot in my foot. If I have, I'm really sorry, but I'll just tell it really quickly. I don't know how many years ago, had a really horrible bout of plantar fasciitis. For those of you who have had plantar fasciitis, which is hard to say for me, or going through that presently, good God, do I empathize with you. That was some pain on a level that I was not prepared for. I got it in my left foot, and literally when I would get in the car to drive, and mind you, I didn't have a standard car, it was an automatic, so I didn't need my left foot, but you know how you rest your left foot and use your right foot? I couldn't even rest my left foot without tears just streaming down my face. It was so awful, and it sidelined me from running and some other things. So anyway, I went to a foot doctor, great foot doctor, and she was like, okay, yeah, you know, you have, and she gave me the length of the tear. I tore my tendon, not all the way through, but had a pretty sizable tear. And I needed to have cortisone shots in my foot. So she's like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this freezing spray, and we're going to like basically freeze the area. And then we're going in. I was like, when you say you're going in, where are you going? Oh, they're going directly in the middle of the arch of my foot. Of all the areas in my body that I do not have any control over, the arch of my foot is one of them. And it was, when I say one of the most uncomfortable situations I've been in, the best part of it was, she said, just go to your happy place. And when they started to give me the shot, and I'm not joking, I screamed Keanu Reeves. I was like, Keanu Reeves! And the entire office heard me. That was the story of my cortisone shot in my foot. Now, here's the thing. I feel like I have much more control of my knuckle area. Like, that's an area where I could get a shot in and it wouldn't make me back out of a chair. Like, when they want to, it's kind of like, okay, ladies, you know, when you go in for your annual and you're in the stirrups and they're like, you need to scoot up, and all you want to do is scoot back. That's what happened with my foot. I was scooting back. My thumb, I don't think I'm going to have that reaction to. So I'm feeling kind of positive about the thumb. I am. I'm feeling positive. I feel like I'm shouting and my level is really crazy. So I'm going to try to bring it down. We're having fun. We're not trying to break eardrums. Okay. So basically the thumb sidelined my knitting in January. And I basically I knit a hat and then had the thumb, and that's been pretty much it. Now, I didn't tell my doctor, but I have knit a little bit. I'm knitting a little bit at a time, and I can already tell you I knit a little too much yesterday because the thumb is talking to me, okay? It's saying, girl, you need to stop. You guys, this beer is so good. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. And then I'll get back to the whole December conversation and balancing hobbies. But so I did finish, not the sweater. Don't get friggin' excited. Cool your jets. I have finished the hem finally. So this is my paint. Okay, let's start here. This is my Painting Bricks sweater by Stephen West. It's been over a year on my needles. I cannot wait for this. Okay, but I did finish. It's a folded hem. Sorry, there's probably like, there's so much cat hair on there. But you get the gist. It's just like a ribbed folded hem. Now, I've done a folded hem before. I have never done a folded hem with black yarn. And I can't in good conscience recommend that to anybody. Holy crap. Now, it could be the fact that my eyes are going and I wear glasses and all of that whole 9 yards. But you guys, when you go to do a folded hem and you pick up, like basically on this one, you're picking up the first stitch of your ribbing round. It's real hard to see it. This took so long. I can't even tell you. I mean, it took long because of the thumb, but it took long because I could not see what I was doing. And we had like, I was upstairs. I really don't knit down here. So I was upstairs on the couch and we have pot lights in our ceiling. We have spotlights. And then we have like an overhead kitchen light that's behind. We had all the lights on and I was like, this is I will be 90 when this is done. But I got it done and I decided that I'm going to hold off on doing the arms. I will take a boat to Sleeve Island, I promise. But small circumference right now is super hard to do. So I'm just doing what I can do and I will come back. So that's our progress report. All I want to do is wear this. I already love it. It is so me. Everything about this is me. So it even smells like me, you guys. Okay, so a little knitting with the thumb. I'll put the yarn and everything in the show notes because I've gone over that before. I don't think we need to go over that. So very minor amount of knitting, and I did cast something on. Don't talk to me about the other things that are my whips that are in bags all over my upstairs. You know, we'll do a little show. We'll do a whip show and tell at some point, but it's not going to be today, people. I've got, fun to be had. I don't need to be feeling guilty. What I did cast on was the project that I told you I was going to cast on last year. It is the Dustland sweater, Stephen West. I knew I wanted to do this sweater the minute I saw it. I was like, oh, so much fun. Because I was like, there's some play in here with color and that is not in the pattern that I am doing. But I have not gotten very far at all. In fact, I will show you if I can do that without knocking everything out of the craziness. Okay, I have only done, the collar. Okay, and I have just started increasing. I'm not to the yoke yet, and I'm just starting the short rows for the shoulder shaping. And I do have a dilemma with this that I do want to discuss, but I think I know my answer, and I think I don't care. Those of you who are perfectionists are going to hate this. Trigger friggin' warning. I am going to do multiple colors in this. Well, so far 2, not multiple. But, when you add yarn in, you get that weird row, right? You all know what I'm talking about. So I can flip it on the reverse, right? Like I could flip the collar when I'm done with the short row shaping. I can inside it out and I could have this be the right side and this be the wrong side, even though technically this is the right side. But the reality is, like, I actually like the polka dotted line. It reminds me of the temporary stitches like on burlap sacks, like when you buy flour, like that thing that you, like it looks like a provisional line, right? I might be the only person who likes that, but I really do. I've always liked it. So I actually don't know if I am going to reverse it. It doesn't bother me. I actually enjoy that. And that's because I'm goofy. Now, obviously the other side would be really clean and you're not going to have that line, but I just don't know. I have not, you guys, jury out. I will need to decide when I'm done with the short rows, because at that point I can flip the entire thing inside out. It's a mirror image and it won't matter. I cannot start the yoke until I've decided and stick with the decision. So there's that. Give me your thoughts on that. I'm most of you are going to be like inside it out, bitch, because that looks like stupid, and it'll look like your sweater's on inside out, Shannon. Dude, do you really think I care if people think my sweater's inside out? Do you know that how many times I've gone to work with 2 different fucking socks on? This girl, listen, it's a miracle that I'm getting anything done. So, you know, hey, what? I know the truth, whether it's inside out or not. Just weigh in. I'm sure I could do a little poll, maybe. We'll see. I know what all of everyone except maybe 2 people are going to be like, you need to turn it the other way. I hear you. You're all perfectionists. That's all right. I'm down with that. I can handle that. Let's talk about yarn. Oh. Excuse me. Oh my God, you guys, look at one ear. Look at his butt. Look at that. Super flying bunny. He's so handsome. One ear. You have a cute kiss. Do you like to be serenaded? He likes to do yoga with me too. That has nothing to do with serenading, but I'm just saying. That's what he does. Like I'll be on the mat, because I'll lay the mat down here, because the TV's here. And he will do that right alongside the mat. And then half the times he'll get up and try to eat the mat. And the best is when I'm trying to do like a weird, like crazy position. I'm like, please don't go underneath me because I might fall. I have not fallen on him, but I'm just saying. Okay, yarn. Oh my God, I'm so off topic. I'm out of practice, you guys. This is what happens when I take a month off. I don't even know how to do a podcast anymore. All right, excuse the glare, but I need to be able to read. Okay, so are you ready? I am using, shocker, Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted. And I have 2 colorways right now. What is this colorway? Oh, this would be Fern Green, which is the green. I'm not picking that back up, so sorry about your luck. Fern Green and Deep Teal. Now, I have waxed poetic about how I feel about Premier's anti-pilling yarn. I love it. It's my favorite budget yarn. It's my favorite acrylic yarn. It is my go-to yarn. I will make one comment that I found very interesting about this. The Deep Teal is much thicker than the Fern Green. And I don't know if that's because of the dye. They're both worsted. It's the same exact yarn, but I'm telling you, Teal's got a little more bounce to it. You know what I'm saying? It's got a little more body, which I find odd, but that's all right. It'll all work out in the end. I hope. So that in and of itself is all I've been able to get done in the last month. Now, I'm trying to take it easy because I really do not want to have surgery on my thumb. The thought of that makes me want to throw up. So let's just rah, Shannon, you're doing great. Your thumb's going to be fine. It's all going to be good. So in December, we're going to back the train up. In December, I told myself I needed to balance my hobbies, and my thumb has balanced them for me because I really can't knit. I have started painting, you guys, my Dark Souls minis. I showed you them primed before, I think. So I have started painting them. I'm really enjoying it. I can't say I'm a great painter, but I might be a better painter than I am knitter. And I'm not sure that, I don't know on the scale of life what that means. I'm just saying I'm enjoying it. I was painting upstairs because Steve had taken over I have a little desk in the corner over here. And he has gone on a journey, you guys, to buy himself his dream thing from childhood, his Commodore 64. So he's been buying different components from overseas and he's building his Commodore 64. He thought he would use it down here and he set it up and it just sat there and he never used it. I was like, listen, dude, I moved a ton of crap for him to be able to have that space. So I reclaimed it and it's now my painting station. I have not painted down here yet. I'm a little concerned about the lighting, but I have a jeweler's loupe with a light on it. oh, we're going to have to film that because you know that looks good. You know that's a look, right? You know it's got a visor, it's a look. And it's a look that I 100% support. So I was able to add more that part of my hobbies back into the running. And it's been eye-opening how out of practice I am. I forgot how to do certain types of shading, just like, crazy things when you pick something back up. It is like riding a bike, but not, because you're going to bail, right? You're going to have the fall. So I was able to do that. I did not and have not read anything. And I know why, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So I'm going to work on it. I promise you guys. I promise, because reading is really important to me. And there's some things going on why I'm not. But so I think I'm doing a better job of balance, but it was kind of forced on me, right? The other thing I told myself in December was like I was going to treat my body a little bit better as I drink this Russian Imperial Stout. That's probably a, 11% ABV. I wanted to work out on a schedule, right? And I wanted to do weight training in a more serious way because I don't really care at the end of the day. I don't really care about how much I weigh. I care about being strong and being able to be mobile, right? And I think just a lifelong issue with weight and just a lot of pressure to be thin and to look a particular way. I don't want to throw my mom under the bus, but I'm going to a little bit. She was a dancer, so she was always really naturally thin, and she always made emphasis on how we looked and how we presented ourselves, which is normally a positive thing. Like, you do want to put your best foot forward. Somehow my brain over time latched onto that in a very negative way. And it's taken me a long time to kind of let go of like being proud of the descriptor of, oh, it's that skinny girl. Because when I was in my late teens, all of my 20s, probably the beginning of my 30s, I was really thin. I weighed, it doesn't even matter. I was really thin. And when people would describe me, that is how they described me. It's that skinny redhead. And for some reason, that made me feel good. And now, it bothers me because being skinny is not an accomplishment. Being healthy is, being strong is, but being skinny is not where it's at. And I think a lot of this came up for me because there was that article, and I don't know how many of you read it, about heroin chic coming back. And, I was in my 20s in the 90s. And so I lived through that. And I think I probably was a product of that of some degree. And now that I'm in my 50s, it's like ridiculous because I'm like, I wasted so much time harming my body to look a particular way, but not feeding my body to make it strong or, lifting weights, all of those things. And I carried that with me to present day. Like it's still there, right? So for me now, the big shift was I'm not going to have that body type forever, right? Like I'm getting older. I need to have a strong body. And I don't really care what the scale says about that. So the goal was to start weight training because I am very lower body strong just from years and years of running. I am so upper body weak. It's not even it's crazy. So I started doing, and I've talked about this before, I have a Peloton. I started doing 5-day split training. And all January, I did a 5-day training program with Maddie Majacomo. And it was basically 5 out of 7 days, you weight train for 30 minutes a pop. and it's different muscle groups, but you really concentrate them. And then you repeat that same week as many times as you want. And I repeated it 4 times. And then I've started a new 5-day split training with a different trainer. And I think I'm going to have to kibosh it for a little bit because I am having an issue with the thumb and the elbow. But we'll see. But I will tell you the difference of where I started in January, like the beginning of the year, and today, drastically different. Like I can lift weight over my head that I couldn't at the beginning of January. So I know it's working, and it makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. I am a little sore a lot of the time, but I told myself that I wanted to treat myself better and get strong. And I feel like I've made some really positive steps in that direction. And I think I'm also tackling the mental side of it, or the disordered side of it that I grew up with. Like, because the shift is, I'm not going to weigh myself. I don't really care anymore. I just want to be strong and healthy. I want to live for as long as I can live, and I want to be strong, and I want to be healthy. That mental shift is so big for me. And for people who, if you're watching and you know me and you've known me for your years, you will know how big of a shift that is. And so that's where we're at. So I feel like I've had success on multiple levels of things that I told myself I wanted to have success on. They weren't resolutions. I don't believe in resolutions. I kind of think if you need to change something, then just change it. There doesn't need to be fanfare. You just kind of go ahead and do it. I wanted to share my journey with getting strong with you guys because it is something that I'm really proud of, and I'm really proud of the steps that I took to kind of heal the little Shannon, who is still that little kid who's getting yelled at when photos are being taken to stick in her tummy. And that little girl is still here, right? And she needs to know that it's okay, that you don't need to stick in your tummy for anyone. You don't. Now, you do want to kind of suck it in when you're doing sit-ups or you're going backwards, but whatever. So if you, like me, have a little child in you that had some people say some stupid ass shit to you and they didn't realize you were going to carry it with you your entire life, hey, we're all okay. We're going to be okay. I am going to be friggin' fine. So that was the knitting portion. Oh, but no, I honestly, guys, I do. If you are going through any of that kind of stuff in your life where you're trying to resolve some things, life is odd, right? Like we all deal with weird crap. Like everybody's got it. I'm not a snowflake in that. I'm just trying to get through it in a positive manner, and I'm going to share it with you because I feel like that's human, right? Like that's just human. Yeah. Okay. So the other issue that I have going on right now, and it's not an issue. It's just for those of you out there, I am 52. I am still lucky enough to have both of my parents still here. For those of you who have lost a parent or, whatever, they're not in your life, my heart breaks. It's hard. This is a hard time. Now, my parents are in their 80s. And we're at the point where it's like every other day there's a new health problem, right? Things are just breaking down. Things are not operational in their bodies the way it used to be. Hard pill to swallow for them, but that's for them. And I am trying not to take on that emotional load of that so that I can help them, which is difficult. If you have aging parents that you are kind of working with and helping out, and you have any resources, any books, I don't care, audiobooks, physical books, therapists, whatever, put them in the show notes and let's share that stuff because I need some help. I'm going to be honest. Emotionally, I am a disaster. This past week, my mom fell and broke her arm. She is fine. She's okay. However, it's like every other week, it's something new. And this little body here and this little brain here, like, was like, I need a timeout because like I'm tapping out. I'm out. You got me, life. It's just a lot. And I know it sounds ridiculous that it sounds like just whatever. It's just, it's hard watching the people who you have had in your life not be able to function and do the things that they love to do anymore. And yeah, it's hard, but it also makes me want to grab life and do everything that I can do now, right? Like, don't put off, get yourself strong, all of that. All of my balancing in January kind of revolves around that because we don't know how much time we have, right? Like, I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. We don't know. So I'm just trying to be positive, get my shit together so that I can be helpful. It's really hard to help somebody else if you haven't helped yourself first, right? Like, I need to get to a point where I'm okay so that I can be okay with them and not take things personally that may or may not be said. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of anger. It's all the things that happen as we get older. And we know what I'm saying. So anyway, for those of you out there who are in a similar situation, dudes, it sucks. I'm with you. We're going to have a little moment about vegan stuff. Okay, there we go. Why was that so hard for me to come up with? Is it the beer? Perhaps. As I refill my glass. Okay, you guys, I'm not buying yarn, that's for sure. But I did purchase something, and I purchased it last year. And when I say last year, I mean last summer. This, if you know what this is. If you don't know, I'm about ready to tell you. I love D&D. And part of me loving D&D is I love watching other people play D&D, which some people think that's very weird. Like, why are you wasting your time when you could play yourself? Well, I can't play myself because I've got a group, but we only meet once every other week. So anyway, doesn't really matter why I like it. I like it. Critical Role is one of the feeds I watch. This is the Mighty Nine, which is their campaign 2 partnership, you guys, with HipDot. It's makeup. You guys, look. And, oh, is it focusing? I don't have my glasses on. I'm hoping this is focused, but somewhere down here, it does say vegan. It also says clean. I have a bone to pick. What defines what is clean or not? I'm going to guarantee you, look at all the ingredients. How the hell is that clean? I don't buy it. I buy that it's vegan. But when you open it up, you guys. Woo. Okay, there's just a lot. That's a lot visually to take on, right? But it came with 3 lipsticks, a highlighter, and then an eyeshadow palette. I am wearing the middle lipstick, which is kind of like a dusty mauve maybe. I am wearing the highlighter, but dudes, I don't know about that. The eyeshadow palette, which is that's what I'm wearing today. Oh, I can't. Please don't fall. Shit. Okay, it's so static clinged right now that I can't get the plastic off. There we go. Yes. Okay. So it has, oh, look, there's my setup. Look. Isn't that fun? Whoa. Oh, Xbox. Okay. Anyway, sorry. It has a mirror. Okay. So the eyeshadow palette, here's the deal. This is a pressed glitter. I'm just going to tell you, pressed glitter, not so great. Everything else, really good. Okay. Hang on, Maggie. Yeah. I will tell you, when I ordered this, I was like, I have never used HipDot before. but it was Critical Role and vegan. How can I not, right? I am pleasantly surprised. I will say this. I do not have an eyeshadow primer right now, and I think that the eyeshadows may work better with a better, like with my eyelids primed. But you guys, I mean, it's pretty, I don't know what's showing up and what's not, but I'm enjoying it. It was fun. It's so much more than I thought it would be. Like typically when you have partnerships where it's like, you know, like Star Wars or something like that, it's like you're buying it for what it is, not for its use, right? I'm going to use this. I don't care. I will say this. I am one of those people, I do not believe in keeping things in plastic. If you buy like a mini, if you buy whatever it is, a comic book, friggin' read it. Like use the shit. What is this whole thing about keeping things in plastic and not using them? I don't subscribe to that. That's wasteful. If you're not going to use it, don't buy it. I.e., oh, hi, Mag. I didn't tell you Maggie's in my lap, but I don't think you can see her. Oh, no, 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 no. You're not going to stop recording. Okay, that's the other thing. Maggie has decided that she's going to be an office assistant, and her new thing now is to try to type. So I'll be working on a spreadsheet, and she'll just take her paw and go, bam, right on the space bar, wipe out my cells. So then, I'm reversing things and all. I was like, girl, I will get you a mini keyboard, but you need to stop typing while I'm typing. Okay, so the other thing, so you cannot get you cannot buy the Critical Role collection anymore. It was a limited edition, pre-order only. I am very pleasantly surprised. I will say that. I was not expecting much at all, so pleasantly surprised. Kind of a birthday gift to myself because it did come like right on my birthday, so that was good. But my true birthday present to myself is what I'm going to talk about next very quickly, which is, and by the way, I am not sponsored. I do not get money from anyone, and I don't have affiliate links. So anything I talk about, I'm just talking about. Henry Rose. This is the perfume company that Michelle Pfeiffer started. Okay, so it is flalate free, whatever that friggin' word is. And they disclose all of their ingredients. There's nothing hidden anywhere in this. If anything is clean, this would be considered clean. And what I did is I bought their tester package, which is like, I think 10 different perfumes. And then they give you $20 off a bottle of perfume if you decide to buy it, or $20 off any purchase you decide to make, because they do, I think they do candles, body lotion, and perfume, and travel sprays. So I went through and I've used, and I ordered this, I think back in December. So I used all the testers in January and decided what I wanted to get. Really good variety of fragrances. I will say this much. Being vegan for as long as I have and being someone who loves perfume, a lot of vegan perfume must use the same base that non-vegan perfumes do not use, because there's this common thread through all of them. And I cannot tell you what that thread is. I can only tell you like when I recognize it. So like Ellis Brooklyn, if you are not familiar with Ellis Brooklyn, it's another vegan parfumer, however you say that, who I've used before, but they all have the same base note that I have used. And it's a base note that I do not enjoy. I do not like things that smell like baby powder or powder. And a lot of people refer to that as like airy and it's a light musky note. No, that's straight up fucking powder. I do not like that. So does Henry Rose have some fragrances that have that? They do. However, they have some that do not, that I was really, really happy with. So I would suggest if you are in the market for vegan perfume and you're like, I don't know what to get, a couple different things you can do. Look at a sample kit from Henry Rose because I've really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. Look at the sachets from Pinrose perfumes. And Ellis Brooklyn does have sample kits, and there's quite a few different ones. They call them libraries. Check those out. Now, obviously, the other thing that have talked about in the past is the company I can't pronounce, which is Sucreabeille. They do fragrance oils and perfumes. Those are much more like handcrafted and very unusual. If you're just looking for like straight up perfume and you don't want something crazy like I like that smells like metallic bubble gum on the sidewalk, Ellis Brooklyn, Henry Rose, and Pinrose are great places to start. So what I did with Henry Rose, I went ahead and for my birthday, I bought myself, with their $20 off, I bought This Is Darkest Night. I love it. I can't even describe it to you. It's just, this is me. This is me in a bottle. That's how I can describe it. And then I ordered a travel spray of another fragrance of theirs called Torn, which I equally love. I do not wear light fragrances. I will tell you that. I do not wear light fragrances, period. So these are right up my alley. I love them. I'm super happy with them. So as a vegan, to a vegan, or to a non-vegan, listen, if you're not vegan, do not buy, listen, here, I should not be telling anybody what to do. But the reality is, cosmetics and perfume, if you're buying those items and they're tested on animals, shame on you, because you don't need those items. So all you're doing is supporting an industry that is just doing horrible things to animals. There are so many vegan options out there, and they're so easy to find. So go find them and stop supporting companies that are like, we don't need to get into it. We know how bad it is. So many great options. So start with Henry Rose. I guarantee you'll be really happy. There's that. Okay, report back on deodorant, because I told you I would. All right, I went through, I forget the last time we talked about deodorant, but I think it's literally been 4 months. I have finished 2 different things of native deodorant, 1 thing of Hurrah deodorant, and I obviously was using pit liquor. You guys, I'm standing by pit liquor 180 gazillion %. Native is not bad. It's not a bad place to start. But it's just too scented for me. Like, I don't want to raise my arm and like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing cucumber mint today, or whatever, Earl Grey tea with mandarin orange, whatever it is. Like, I like my perfume. I don't like my perfume coming out of my armpit. That's my comment about native. If you are someone who doesn't wear perfume but wants something that's scented, like, native is for you. Go for it, but get the cardboard ones. Don't buy the plastic ones. I don't know if they still make the plastic ones, but if they do, don't buy those. Buy the cardboard ones because they're recyclable. The Hurrah, I wanted to love it. I wanted to love it, you guys. I did. It's not bad. If you like Lume, you will like the Hurrah. It is the same principle. In fact, it's the same base. It does have that kind of medicinal smell to it, but there is a weird grit to it that I don't like it when I put it on. You don't feel it later, and it doesn't come off on your clothes or anything like that. But my test is like, when I put deodorant on, it's fine for the day. The next day when I get up, I work out. And how stinky am I when I'm working out? And that's how I judge the deodorant. So I give it 24 hours and a workout. Pit liquor, you guys, 100%. Hurrah, I was so stinky during my workout. Like, I was like, oh, nope. But I finished the entire tube. In fact, I used the last bit of it today. So I reordered my pit liquor. I will put pit liquor in the show notes. Here's the deal. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it again. You do not need to spend money on deodorant. You don't need to spend money on pit liquor. Just wash your fucking pits. That's it. Because of the activity in my life, do not want to expose the rest of you to the odor that would come out of my armpits. So I do buy pit liquor. I do like it. And yes, it's not cheap, but it lasts a really long time. They do have sales that are really good where they'll have a buy one, get one free. They'll have like, 30% off the refill. I wait for the sale and then I buy it. So worth it. Love it. It'll be in the show notes. I need a sip of this. Because you guys, I apparently have a scent thing. That's the weird thing about me. I do have bionic smell, and Mr. Editor will also agree with that. So I am really sensitive to like smell things. Deodorant's a issue. And like, it's funny because it was really hard finding Steve deodorant. And I don't know where he landed with that, but he has tried so many different companies and they just don't work on him. And I am not a believer in antiperspirant. I just don't think it's good to block stuff that needs to come out of your body. And maybe it's fine. Maybe I'm not a doctor. I just know like when I think about the concept of antiperspirant, I'm like, I don't think I want to clog that shit back up in my body. I think I need it to come out. So I don't know if maybe in Mr. Editor's case, whether an antiperspirant would help him or not. I don't know. So, in the comments, what's your favorite deodorant? Let me know. We'll see what we can get, Mr. Editor. I think that's it, you guys. I feel like I've talked and talked and talked and didn't accomplish anything. Oh, wait. I forgot to tell you. For my birthday, Mr. Editor ran a one-shot. And, I can't even believe I'm forgetting this whole thing altogether. First of all, you take a month off and what happens? Dungeons and Dragons completely implodes. I'm not going to go over the drama. There are so many websites that have great videos on it. I'll put a couple in the show notes. Basically, Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast produces Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, okay? You don't need Wizards of the Coast to play Dungeons and Dragons, but they produce materials related to Dungeons and Dragons. Hasbro laid down the gauntlet that D&D was under-monetized and that, they were going to move forward and try to make some money. Well, they did, and they made some serious missteps, and it caused huge drama in the Dungeons and Dragons community. And when I say huge, I mean like implosion level shit, involving an open game license, a system resource document, and some posts and emails that were like insane. So anyway, if you've been following the drama, I think it's wrapped itself up. I don't need to go over it here because I'm sure none of you care. I just found it very interesting how passive aggressive certain communications were from Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro to their customer. And when I read one of the emails, I can't even go, it was so dumb. I was so dumbfounded. Like, I hope whoever wrote this got fired immediately. And I don't know if they did or not. Anyway, for my birthday, Mr. Editor ran a one-shot and we decided, well, fuck this. Let's play a totally different RPG. Let's play a different rule system altogether. Like I said, you can play role-playing games and they don't have to be Dungeons and Dragons. So we played the Alien tabletop role-playing game. And he designed it. I don't think it was meant to be a one-shot. I think it's like a 3 to 4 shot. But basically, it is in the Alien universe. Yes, it was Scorny Weaver, the whole 9 yards, shit coming out of your body. It was so much fun. I had friends come over. Steve made nachos, all of that kind of stuff. We hung out and we played. It was so much fun. I like any type of role-playing game. Like, I don't need one rule system in particular. Like 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons is a rule system, right? Alien has its own rule system. Once you understand the basic concept of a rule system, they're pretty similar to each other. It's just different mechanics. Like Wizards of the Coast, 5th edition, you're rolling dice. It's like a lot of D20s. You're doing skill checks. You're doing all this other stuff. Alien, it's not like that at all. You're not rolling nearly as much. And if you're rolling, it's D6s. And it's just a totally different mechanical system. And I really enjoyed it. I can't really tell you a lot about my character because we have not finished. And I don't want to ruin anything. And I'm not sure if anybody will be watching this. So anyway, I'll report back. But If you are someone who was like, well, these role-playing games sound very interesting to me, but I don't want to go out and kill a dragon. I'm not interested. There's so many other ones. You just have to look them up. Just look up tabletop role-playing games. Shazam. That's all you need to do. All right. I think that's it. I think I'm done. From one ear and me to you, thank you for hanging out for this bizarre and discombobulated episode of Sheepless Needles, where I'm trying to get my feet wet, get back in the game, you guys. It's the fourth quarter. Put me in, coach. I love you guys. Hang in. I'm coming back. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Got to let it show. You've got it in your head too, don't you? You just dance like no one's looking. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ta.